Hey, Speed, I gotta ask you something super deep while I'm eating a sandwich in the bath. Is water wet or does water make things wet? I mean, could the sandwich be wet without water? That sounds wrong, right?
Yo, Peter, bro, listen. What even is wet? Like, is wet a property of the water or the thing that touched the water? No shot. L plus ratio to anyone who says it's obvious. What do you think happens at the boundary, bro?
Huh. So you're saying wet is about boundaries. I always thought wet meant covered in water. But if water is made of molecules doing little dances, could the molecules themselves be wet? If they can't wear little raincoats, are they wet? That's wild.
Bro, think about it. When water touches your shirt, the shirt gets wet because water sticks to the fibers. But the water molecules, are they sticking to each other or to the shirt? If wetness is a sensation or a state relative to something else, then maybe water isn't wet on its own. What if wet is only meaningful when there's a surface to be wet?
Huh. So wet might be relational, like me and Lois. Alone I'm clumsy, but together we're, something. But seriously, if a single water droplet is just hanging in air, is it wet? Or does wet require a solid to be affected? Could something be wet without water? Like, say, oil sort of makes things slippery, but do we call that wet? Why do we use the same word for different sensations?
Yo, that's the brain burner. Also, can a substance be wet if it's internally saturated? Like, is a sponge wet when it's full of water? Or is each pore just water hugging itself? Also, does the perception of wetness depend on organisms? Humans feel wet because our nerves detect temperature and pressure changes. So is wetness partly a sensory phenomenon?
So you're saying maybe wet is both physical and perceptual. Water causes wetness, but wet exists only when something experiences it. What about ice? It's water, but not wet to the touch until it melts. When does that flip happen?
Bro, perfect question. When the surface melts enough to form a liquid interface, boom, wet. So who decides? Scientists, philosophers, or the person who steps in the puddle and yells? What do you think, Peter? Does water have intrinsic wetness, or is wet just a relationship we name?
I think wet is like my appetite, depends on context. But now I'm paranoid about my sandwich. Did it get wet, or did it just meet water and start a relationship? AOO? What if sandwiches can consent?